If you get shoulder pain when you play tennis, then I sympathize with you. I struggled with shoulder pain for many years when I was younger, and that's one of the big reasons that I like to make these videos to help players like you. So in this video, I'm going to show you a very simple exercise. It's a nerve mobilization, and I find it can be really helpful for reducing pain, often very quickly for a lot of players. So I hope you find the video helpful. If you do, be awesome if you give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel before, always much appreciated if you could do that as well. Before I show you this exercise, I do want to say that pain is complicated stuff. There can be a number of different reasons why someone might have pain, and that's why I've just released a new shoulder pain prevention program for tennis players. So I'll place a link to that down in the description so that you can learn more about that if you're interested. Here, what we're going to be working on is mobilization for your axillary nerve. So your axillary nerve is a nerve that supplies a lot of the shoulder muscles, so the main shoulder muscles. Now, the way that this works behind the scenes, the very quick version is that pain is a protective mechanism created by your brain based on perceived threat. Now, like I said, there can be a few different underlying things going on. If you lack shoulder strength, that can be a thing that creates threat. There can be other issues going on. But one of the issues that can be problematic is nerves not moving as freely as they should be. So if I'm moving my shoulder, my brain sends information to my muscles, telling them what to do. That information travels along specific nerves, and then sensory information goes back via that nerve to my brain. Well, in order for nerves to do their job as optimally as they can, they need to be able to move freely and they need to be able to stretch. The nerves that go to the muscles in our shoulder, they have to cross through our neck, out of our brachial plexus and through the shoulder joint, and often they can get a little bit sticky and stuck to surrounding tissues, and that in itself can be an underlying cause of threat. So all we're going to do is just try and mobilize the nerve, and then often by doing that we can see a very quick reduction in pain and improvement in range of motion. So the way that we're going to do this, you're actually going to test your range of motion first. So test your front flexion, keep your arm straight, just raise your arm up, see how far it goes, then go to the side, see how far it goes, keeping your arm straight, and how does it feel when you get there? Is it comfortable to get to the position that you get to, or is it agonizing pain? Test your internal and external rotation, or you can test your internal rotation like that to see how far it goes. And then we're going to do this nerve mobilization. Now, when we're working on nerves, we're not trying to crank on them, we're just trying to gently mobilize them. And what I also recommend is if you have a lot of pain, then start with the other arm first. It can still drastically reduce things because our nerves are basically connected through our spinal cord, so it still works. So if your right shoulder hurts, I highly recommend that you start doing it on your left shoulder, see how it responds, and then you can go back to the right shoulder. So the mobilization looks like this. I'm going to bend my arm, I'm going to internally rotate it like so. So I've bent it a little bit, I'm internally rotating it a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is slowly lower my shoulder blade. So this is lifting my shoulder blade up. Lowering it is the opposite. And as we lower our shoulder blade, we're kind of trying to notice just a little sensation in the outside of the shoulder. So it should feel like a little bit of a tugging motion. So I'm going to lower my shoulder blade. Do I feel a tug? I feel a tiny little bit. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to tilt my head away. And then when I tilt my head away, now I can feel a tugging motion in the shoulder. So I've basically pinned one end of my nerve in position by doing that and then pulling the shoulder blade down, and then the nerve is attached to my spinal cord, which is attached to my brain. So now as I do that, it just gently tugs on the nerve and mobilizes it. And that's what we're going to be playing around with. So I'm going to find the tension first, find that tugging motion, and then I'm just going to gently do this about 4 or 5 times. And this is just going to free the nerve up in certain areas. Once I've done that, I'm then going to go for the shoulder blade. So I'm going to gently lift the shoulder blade and lower it. Lift it and lower it. I'm going to do that 4 or 5 times. So I'm just trying to mobilize this nerve in and around the shoulder. And then the last thing I can do is I can just do that and then internally rotate my shoulder again. So externally rotate, internally rotate. But when I do that, I'm keeping my head in place and I'm keeping my shoulder blade lower. And I can do that 4 or 5 times. And then I'm going to shake it out. And then I'm going to retest and see what happens to my range of motion. Did any of those ranges improve? Was there a reduction in pain as you did that? So you can do that with the left side, and if that works really well, then you can use that. If nothing changed when you did the left side, then you can do the right side to see if that reduces things. And if you found that that increased your range of motion or reduced your pain, then it's something that you can do on a regular basis. You can literally do it maybe 3-5 times a day. And by doing that, it often helps to reduce pain very quickly. You can also do it as part of your warm-up before you play or after you've played to help you recover, to reduce the likelihood that things will hurt the next day. So give that a try, see how you get on. Any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section. Again, just a reminder that I've got that new program that's come out. There's an introductory price at the moment, depending when you're watching this video, of course. So check that out in the description. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.